Hi everyone, this is Jim. Welcome to this postmortem of my Blitz game number 885. I have the white pieces and started off with d4. Went d5, and after c4, the queen's gambit, he went e6. Queen's gambit declined. So we get a classical kind of position here. We're all following the main line up to this point. And then here he plays the slightly rare move, knight b d7. You see it's still got a significant number of games with this move played. Now, usually it's played after c6, and we'll see how we can actually transpose into that line. So a little bit offbeat. And then my response is maybe not the best. I think this is a case where, well, bishop g5, it seems to be still okay. I was kind of wondering about it since the knight is defending the other knight. Is it really doing much? But it is tying that knight down a bit, and he'll probably play bishop e7 to block the pin at some point. But it's also a point at which c takes d5 is pretty interesting. He's pretty much forced to recapture with the pawn. I mean, if he takes with the knight here, you can take and force him to recapture with the pawn. So you can end up with the pawn on that square. And then maybe you can think about going for a minority attack later. So that would be an interesting way to play. And probably better than the way I played it, just with e3 here. Anyway, he did go bishop e7. As I said, if he'd played c6, we would have just transposed back into a normal position. But he's avoiding that. He played bishop e7. I went bishop d3. And actually, around here, the chess engine is starting to like black. So probably the way I played this is not the best. Well, I did have that one chance to take on d5, and I kind of passed it up and gave him a chance to take here now, and I lose a tempo. Let's see, he played a6. We're still actually in the book, and here, actually, I was looking at this with a chess engine, wondering where my position started to deteriorate, because it likes black a fair amount after that retreat of the bishop and castling. He kicks the bishop and I retreat, and it starts to like black around there. So I could have played a4 here. That's the chess engine suggestion. That just puts a stop to this b5 idea. So that's an idea. Instead I castled. He played b5, and I went bishop d3, went bishop b7. You can see black has a nice position here. And then what did I play? I played rook e1. And there are other moves here. Oh, yeah, queen e2 is a suggestion, but also e4. I was wondering if I could play e4 here. And rook e1 is just out of the opening book. So let's go ahead and look at this. I did check out this variation with e4. And I was a little bit worried about him playing b4 and kicking my knight away and winning the pawn. But I can push on with e5. So he takes, I take. And then if he keeps taking, actually that's playable. He takes, I take, because when he takes, it's hitting my rook and my bishop. My pawn is still hitting his bishop. But best, according to the chess engine, is just to take back here with the knight, and I take back. And yeah, this seems to be fine for white. If we look at this pawn structure here, I have this backward c pawn, but it can't be attacked immediately because he's got an isolated c pawn. His play will probably be to push his c-pawn forward and create an isolated queen's pawn for me. So this is a structure that has potential for both sides, but I have some nice open lines for my pieces. They're all pretty well placed, and I can bring my rooks onto open files or half open files. So it should be good for white overall. But nothing out of the ordinary, certainly playable for black. Anyway, I did a preparation move, rook e1, to prepare e4. And at this point, this is where the chess engine likes black the most. It thinks that black could continue here with c5. And although as I played through this, black's advantage kind of decreases. So I don't think it was ever that far from equality, but there's some kind of edge for black here. Say after c5, it doesn't want to take. And funny enough, it doesn't want, oh, sorry, not that one. Bishop to d2. It just wants white to continue developing, and also black, and just kind of keep this tension here for a while. But it likes black in this position. That looks pretty good. Black can castle here. His pieces are active. He's got some claim to the center with this pawn on c5 and more space on the queen side. Yeah, I wouldn't mind playing white too much here. Anyway, he just castled. He didn't go for that immediate c5, and that let me get in this e4 move. Now he plays c5. I can push on with e5, a very common response. And he really can't take here. If he takes now, in this case, I'm going to be a piece up. By take, if he keeps taking, I'll get another piece, and I'll be forking his queen and his rook. So he has to take back at this point, probably with the bishop, and I can save my knight. And he gained a pawn, but I gained a piece, so it's good for me. So he did have to move his knight, and I went ahead and traded. There are other ways to play this, but oh, let's see. He took with the bishop there. That's right. I was a little surprised by that. I was expecting him to take with the pawn, but seems like this is fine. And then he played d takes. Oh, I played d takes c5. Yeah, d takes c5. The chess engine didn't particularly like that either. I should have played bishop e4 apparently. I don't know. After this exchange, he could take here, and then I would have to worry about this pawn. But it seems like white is okay, not grabbing the taking back immediately, but holding on to this pawn and going for the attack with rook to g4. And the chess engine actually likes black's position there. So it doesn't want black to take; it wants black to play rook c8, keeping the tension once again, and maybe queen e2, and it gives an edge to black, but not necessarily a winning edge. It seems like. Well, once again, I wouldn't mind playing white in this position. I don't see that black has anything really great. But anyway, he just took. No, I just took to prevent him from taking. And I was hoping to give him an isolated pawn here, but I didn't see a way to arrange that after he took back with the bishop. So it was probably a good move. Let's see, he takes with the knight. I mean, the thing about that exchange is it did bring his pieces forward, so I helped him out from that point of view. And I have to drop my bishop back. And now he played f6. That gives up some of his edge. He had some kind of edge after I took there. And this is more or less equal here. I took. And then here is where he played a very unusual move. Really, if he just plays bishop takes f6, then all this is very normal. He's got pressure here. And, I have to unwind a little bit carefully, but it's an even position. But rook takes f6 is kind of asking for trouble, and knight to e5 is the best answer. In fact, after bishop takes f6, the chess engine is recommending knight e5 as well to blunt that bishop. So, well, it's just a good square for the knight. And now there's nothing to challenge it, at least not right away. He played bishop to d6. He decided to challenge it with the bishop after all, but that opens up this skewer and allows me to win the exchange. Best move here, according to the chess engine, was knight d7. But even this, somehow I keep an edge here. I can play queen to d3, threatening to win a pawn here. And if he takes the knight, I can throw in the check, grab this pawn with check, and then take the knight back. That's the one line that the chess engine gives as maybe the second choice. It's also, well, it treats this as about equal. So you're treating the knight or giving up a pawn are about equal results, I guess, from the point of view of the chess engine. But this is a way to hold on to the material. And then, I can start lifting up my rooks, developing this bishop. And, it's just a setup for a good attack on the king side. And there's always this weak pawn here to go after. So and I still have to worry about this b pawn at some point. I guess I can't immediately move my bishop out. But anyway, good position for white. So, but when we went bishop to d6, that just gave me this skewer. And I'm up material after this. Let's see. He took, but I can just take back, and he's still in the skewer. He played queen d6. Maybe that wasn't best. He could have played rook to c8, and then brought the queen out like this after I take. Maybe I play queen e2 here to defend the knight. I have to watch out for tactics, but anyway, I'm basically just an exchange up at this point. Queen d6 is not as good because he doesn't get his rook involved. I take, he takes with the pawn, and yeah, taking back with the pawn, yeah, I suppose that was the other problem with queen to d6, is it forces him to take back with the pawn, and this opens up the check. So this part I played correctly. This is all the most active moves are the correct ones, as is often the case. Let's see, he ran to h8 and I brought my rook over also. Also the best move here. Let's see, he played f5 and then went queen h4. I was thinking about this queen d4 check, and that actually is given as a good move as well. That was, I think that was the top choice, but queen h4 is also, all these moves are in the top 2 or 3 moves, and they're all winning. So queen h4 threatens on h7. He defends with rook a7, and now I can check this way. I just thought this check would be more effective because I'm getting in on this diagonal at a position where he can't block me out. And now he played rook g7, and well, there's a clever move here that that is just winning better than what I played. So if you want to see if you can find the best move here, why don't you think about it for a while. Okay, I'm going to give the answer away. The best move is bishop takes here. And well, the point is, if he takes the bishop, I take the queen. And that's actually given as the best move by the chess engine. This threat on g2 here is not, there's nothing that black can do about that because of his rook is pinned. And let's see. Well, if he took with the bishop, I guess I could come in here, check. King goes here and queen goes here, mate. He couldn't take it because the rook was still pinned. So anyway, that's a pretty nice move there. So that's why taking the bishop is best and giving up the queen. And that unpins, actually. Take, take. He can play this move now, but yeah, I can just walk away from the check. And I've won a queen, so that's got to be good for me. Anyway, yeah, interesting play there. Nice tactics. I went rook g5, just piling up on this guy. And now there's only one move that black has here that prevents the checkmate that we saw in the game. He has to play queen e7 here. I think I mentioned this during the video. And then the chess engine says the best I have is just to trade everything. And it's interesting. It ruthlessly trades everything, even after these exchanges. It plays bishop here and forces more exchanges, which looks at first like it's winning a pawn, but actually it's not, because after bishop takes, rook takes here. And so it's just rook against bishop, 4 pawns to 4 pawns, but that's a pretty easily winning endgame, I guess. We'll see. You would have to play it out, but the chess engine is confident that it can win there, and I think I could win that too. The bishop is a lot more powerful in the end games. So unless it's a special circumstance, you could usually win that. Although it'll take longer, and then there's possibilities, opportunities to make mistakes and go wrong. So certainly that's the way you should play it if you're going to play on. Anyway, yeah, so after rook g5, he went queen to c7. And that allowed this mate in 2. When he drops his rook back, I can take with either piece, and it's checkmate. So anyway, nice game. Well, let's see. He didn't go there. He went queen c7, just to get the exact position from the game. This is how the game concluded. He just resigned at this point. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. Kind of a fun game, and I will see you later.